Hi.
Sorry if my words are a little bit slurred. I'm like super sick, but I'm gonna try my best to enunciate. So for those who don't know me, my name is Robyn Osbourne. I'm currently the director of events for McLaughlin College. Next year I'll be running for VP events, yay! So I had the pleasure of working with a bunch of amazing people on council this year. I worked with Sajid a lot with his events, well, with our events, and I learned a lot from Sajid and Daniel as well as the rest of the people that were on council. I really feel like for me, council is a journey, and I'm not trying to go straight, I'm trying to go up. So I'm still learning, I'm still developing, and that is why I really do want to run for VP events and programming. Next year is our 50th year, so I'm going to hope that my enthusiasm, my ideas, and my dedication to council can really make this year beneficial for everybody. And that being said, I do want to try a lot of different things for this upcoming year. I don't want it to be the same traditions that we've always had. Yes, I do want to bring those, but I feel like this year for me and for our council needs to be sort of a revamp. We need to get a different vibe for our university, our college, and change how people look at certain events. So I feel like working lit. That being said, so I feel like the skills and the growth that I was able to go through this year can benefit next year. If you guys have me, please vote. Don't abstain, everybody please. But yes, so that's about it. Questions?
Okay, questions? Okay.
My question is really similar to one Ryan asked earlier. I want to know,
Hey.
like McLaughlin College is a huge college. Like we have like thousands of students. I didn't even know. I thought when I first ran last year, I thought it was a few hundred. It's actually in the thousands. It's a huge college. But what happens every year is like a lot of students who are technically affiliated with our college, don't really turn up to our events. And so, what constructive steps will you plan on taking to, I guess, broaden our appeal across to sections of our college that haven't really?
First of all, I really do feel like us as a council next year doing class talks will need to be very, very important. Because what we find is that most of the people who are involved the most, they were here for Frosh, so they kind of know everybody already. But there's a large percent of our college that was not here for Frosh. One thing that I wanted to do is kind of have like an introductory event for people that did not go for Frosh. So even like a mini event that's like a mini Frosh in a sense. So they know we're here, because as Justice was saying before, some people don't even know we have a council. So people don't even know how the colleges work. So I really feel like next year, if I am VP events, I will need to be in people's faces. I will need to be upfront and I have to be present. Because there's no way to do my job if I'm not present and not seen and not communicating with other people.
Alec and then Hassa.
So, how do you feel about playing sports?
I will play sports. 100% I will play sports if I am needed. Slits? No, I actually played a couple times this year, and I'm gonna say I haven't played as much as I could, but I love you guys. Play sports.
Hassa.
You said that you wanted to have like a new vibe and you wanted to like revamp it, right? How do you plan on doing that?
One word that I really want to take out of McLaughlin vocabulary is that's waste.
Oh, thank God.
That's waste. For me, a big thing when I first heard, okay, this is just what happened to me today. When I first heard about lunch talks, it was like, why would you go to that? That's waste. So for sure, I didn't go to any lunch talks. I didn't go to any lunch talks at all. Literally yesterday, me and Sajid and a couple people in the office were talking about going to lunch talk. And it was one of those where I'm like, I woke up, I was really tired, I'm like, do I really want to go? The fact that I was forced to get up and go literally changed my life today for the better. Because I took that's waste mentality out of my head. And now I'm sitting here with connections with a senator. and Kulos, we got her information today, and she wants to do events with us next year. So I really feel like this that's waste mentality that we have as human beings is what's holding us back. People don't want to go to certain events because if their friends aren't going, that's waste. I really want to eliminate that from our vocabulary because I really feel like that takes us back and that just eliminates our mindset for doing stuff that is great. This is the 50th year. Nothing but greatness.
Okay, Ryan, then Justice.
Okay.
Okay.
One, you brought up the concept of tradition. So what new traditions or old traditions other than concept of like vocabulary? When it comes to actual events, what kind of events new do you have like, you want to implement throughout the year that something that we can look forward to?
I really want to work closely with academics. I do believe that having people come in and speak to McLaughlin students can really be beneficial because I myself benefit from it and I know other people do benefit from actually having people coming and talk, and people will come in and talk to us about certain things. So I really feel like educationally that side could be good for us to really change our mindset on certain things. So I would really want to work closely with academics to have more academic-based events because not everybody wants to party, and we really have to come to that realization that's just not for everyone. Some people have different interests, so that's what I really want to do for next year.
And my next question, which is also a big concern when it comes to what are your emergency protocols when it comes to events? For example, one of the most popular ones is, for example, Montreal, or one of our bigger events, even Blue Mountain this year. What emergency protocols do you have for that, whether it's the well-being of our students who attend the trip, or as well as just anyone involved with it?
I really feel like training is important because I can even say this year for myself, I didn't have a lot of training on certain things, and I didn't know how to deal with certain situations. I didn't feel comfortable with it, so I had to lean on Sajid or Dan or you. So I really feel like it's important for council and community members to be trained on how to handle emergency situations, because if you don't know what to do, you'll act irrationally. And that's personally happened to me, so you need to know how to deal with situations.
How will you, what initiative will you take to create that? So, talking about training, how will you implement this training? Where will you get this training from? Who will you look forward to when it comes to these kinds of training?
I think that we should have similar training to what Frosh classes have. That training for me was beneficial during Frosh, so even connections with the YFS, that could help us dearly.
Okay, Justice and Alec, and then Dan.
To center it back to community again, what is one strategy that you plan on using to bring back our upper year students to our community that don't either feel the need to come around here anymore, or don't feel welcome here in the community anymore for whatever reason?
Having events that maybe promote the mingling of upper years and lower years, because there are many times that upper years will come in here randomly and they'll just start talking to the first years. They start playing football, all of a sudden they're best friends. It just takes that one connection. If they don't really have the opportunity to get to know people, sometimes they won't. But given that opportunity, I feel like they do. So it's for us to really push out those events and really encourage it, because sometimes people really just need that push.
That's good.
So, Alec?
So this is a question from our DBF that is going to
Speak up, Alex.
Sorry. So as events, what do you think you could do to promote sports throughout the college, like any sort of event or something like that online, just to get people more involved?
I think revamping, sorry. You know how like during Frosh you have that little event where people are supposed to go look at sports? I think revamping that, not the attitude that we have to it was just like, oh yeah, just go check out sports, this is the time to go check out sports, it's sports day. No. The attitude needs to be changed, and I feel like it's a lot with our council too. If we're not amped, if we're not really trying to go to things, like even when you guys tell me, oh, go to basketball games, yo, I'm coming amped. You really have to be into it, because if you don't look into it, people will follow you, especially the younger years. They come in and they follow the attitudes that you have. Attitudes and vibes have a strong hold on people. So if we work together really with SNR and actually try to have events and try to get people amped about it and not just say, oh yeah, it's just sports, just go play, or like we just need one person, like just come. Our attitudes need to change.
Thank you.
Dan?
No, it's okay.
Say it.
No, it's okay. You answered it, don't worry.
Okay, so Sujeet.
I have two questions. The first question is, like you mentioned, the 50th year, the master's office is also aware of the 50th year. Our master is serving his last term next year, so obviously he wants to end it off with a bang as well. So like how are some ways that you would probably like collaborate with the master's office when it comes to events?
One of the ideas I had primarily for formal is really digging into the history of MAC, because we're ending 50 years and then we're beginning 50 years. And another big thing about it, this is our last year of 90s kids that are coming. It's the last year of 90s kids. There's a lot of things that, it's the end of a period and the beginning of a period. So I really do feel like diving into the history of math and really like emphasizing that. I see formal as having cardboard cutouts of people that were influential in McLaughlin history. That's what I see when I visualize it in my head, and I really feel like the master's office, visualize it, the master's office will appreciate that. And we have to look at it more as, it's not just our formal, it's theirs too. And he's been here way longer than we have. We're celebrating them, they've been here. They know more than we do, so having their input in our events, possibly for the 50th year, will be lit. People may not like history, but that's where we come from. If we're gonna represent Mac Pride, we need to know about it. So we're gonna educate them.
Alright, my second question. Fortunately, we had an amazing relationship when it came to VP and director of events. Say that coming in the fall term, a director of events gets elected that has a clashing personality against yours. How would you work around that to ensure that you still have a smooth relationship with them and that it doesn't get in the way of council affairs?
Jokingly, the first thing to be, cut. No, I'm joking. I wouldn't cut. I really do believe that there's an end goal. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about anybody else really on the council. Yes, we have to consider each other's feelings and our complexes and where we come from. But in the end of the day, council, I feel like we're working for a higher goal for our community. It's not for us. And if you really look at it like it's our personal agenda, then you shouldn't be in council. We're doing it for a higher purpose. And if the person that is hired is qualified and they can do their work, it's gonna be lit.
Good stuff. Anyone else? No?